Deep within the Lanaryu province, a large ancient desert with strange machinery and technology lies dormant for centuries, excavating, mining and guarding this promised land. But a long time ago, this land was once not just a barren wasteland, but was filled with trees, water and life. This place, once belonging to the ancient people of Hyrule, and together with the Thunder Dragon, they lived in the land of happiness. But over the years, this land fell into disarray, as there was not a single man left to tell the tale of this magnificent land after the battle of good and evil. When the war broke out between the goddess and her followers, and the Demon King with his minions, the lands of Lanaryu started dying out. The proud ancient Hylians of the desert died along with the legends of old, and during this time it was the Thunder Dragon that took a last stand against these evil forces. After the Battle of the Ancients, peace returned to the land, but the war broke down the old Temple of Time, a gateway that was worshipped by these Hylians, and it was this portal that allowed the dragon folk, the Zonai, to appear on the surface for the very first time after being sent by the goddesses to help the Hylians rebuild these lands. After the fall of Demise, it was them after all that changed the continent forever. But before the Zonai appeared, the Thunder Dragon created his own way of life with his own imagination. With his mighty power of thunder and lightning, he struck down a large thunderbolt, and by doing so, he created machines, kinda like Frankenstein, if you will.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
These machines, called the ancient robots, were designed to start a new life in Hyrule. Their design was to first help the Thunder Dragon with small tasks, but it didn't take a long time for these machines to start working on their own. It was during this time that peace prospered for a while. The Demon King, imprisoned by the holy goddess Hylia, was only biding his time to come back to haunt these lands once more with his army of darkness. But during this time, the ancient robots went on to create more of their own. However, something went terribly wrong. These machines weren't able to last forever. Their power cells, ones that the Zonai used far into the future, weren't invented yet, and because of this, their energy slowly depleted. The ancient robots had to come up with a plan, and together with their Thunderlord, they started searching for a new power that was able to recover their siblings and return them back to life again. These robots started drilling in the ground, blasting away the earth with bombs, minecarts scattered all around with materials and other debris, until they found something that answered their call. It was called a Luminous stone. These stones, shining in a strange magical but blue-green light, had the capabilities to bring things back from the dead, and later through the ages, these stones became part of the Zonai cells. But the Zonai weren't involved with the evolution of the ancient robots, nor with their downfall. It was this that caused the start of the downfall of the Lanaryu beautiful landscape, but it was the start of the mechanical machinery that was the ancient robot. After many moons, these robots began to conquer the lands of the Lanaryu plains. It was not by war that caused the destruction of this beautiful place, as Demise once did many years ago. No, it was something called excavating and building. It was here that these robots began to create a new experimental design of their entire facility. During these excavations and mines, the robots found something interesting, which was called a rupee, in all sorts of different colors, blue, green, red, all sorts of colors. However, it was useless to them, so they safely stored these items into storage boxes and containers found all over their warehouses. There was, however, interest into these materials by other races, and so these rupees made their way into the hands of the Gorons that exchanged this currency with other races, as these rupees contained a magical essence in them. Storing these rupees, though, required a ton of work and materials, and so safety precautions was made in order to protect them. The biggest facility was made with puzzles, living statues that guarded the entrances of these facilities, and other weaponized robots. But there was only one stone that was the most important gem of all of them, and it was called the Luminous Stone, that had to be protected as they were the most precious of all the gems. When these facilities appeared, created by the hands of these small electrical puppets, the world around them started to dissolve slowly. As more excavating destroyed the entirety of their lands, the robots had a difficult time with their surroundings. It was here that the robots found the ancient Temple of Time that once belonged to the humans, as in the Hylians of the past that died during the Demise War. It was in this time that the ancient forest of old died out, and it was here that the large ancient sea that nurtured the ground once long ago became the Sea of Sand. As the robots continued their work, the environment that they eventually lived in started to decay. It started to turn into death and disarray. And all the creatures in the desert, the ones that could not adapt to their surroundings, slowly died out. It was even the Thunder Dragon that became sick of all the work that happened during this time. The ancient robots saw their master turning from a strong guardian to something of a hopeless mark of the past. It was here that something must be done by the robots to bring their beloved master back. And after searching for an answer within the Temple of Time, they found what they were looking for. Through the rubble of the broken walls of the temple that once stood mighty and strong, they found out that the portal, the one still standing, was once built with their own precious stone, the Luminous Stone. This brought joy to the mechanical hearts of these robots, and they were able to create more stones this way by traveling back in time and reverse the process to bring their master back. Unfortunately for them, the stones that they kept mining for had mostly depleted. Their work and the destruction of the lands they existed in caused their own downfall. It was during this time that the robots simply gave up. The last stones remaining was used to keep their own machinations existing, causing them to go back and forth in time. Only someone else with the capabilities of a hero could potentially save everyone. The last remaining stones that can be found scattered around the facility are the ones seen in Ocarina of Time as the Sheikah stones, or the crystals that are used in the dungeons and puzzles of the other games. But in the facilities and beyond of the Lanaryu Mining Facility, they are called the Timeshift Stones. Now there are a lot of things that these robots made that eventually appeared more frequently in the other timelines. Their devices have been used far into the future. After the Thunder Dragon was saved and when the robots continued their work, the Zonai, the ones closest to the goddesses, came back from the heavens, like their ancestors the dragons once did. It could be said that the Thunder Dragon was upon a time a Zonai himself. And here is why. First, we know that the dragons in the Legend of Zelda are immortal. They cannot die unless it's from a disease or maybe from a different fight or battle. And when a tear has been swallowed up, a person becomes a dragon, but for all of eternity. The dragons could have used a tear in order to become protectors of the land. It is the opposite of Hylia that became a human and gave up her immortality instead. When the Zonai came down upon the lands of Lanaryu and beyond, they found a similar style of architecture of their ancestors. As this was by design because of the master of the robots, Lanaryu, they decided to build the same in his honor. The Master Sword, always stuck in the pedestal, was protected by time magic. The pedestal was built by the ancient robots. The devices that these robots made are scattered all over Hyrule, but especially where this power was needed. The Zonai eventually evolved this magic even further throughout the ages, and with this energy, the Luminous Stones became the Zonai Stones, and the temples and all the buildings in the sky was made with the technology of the ancient robots. And it is here that I end my video. Thank you all for watching.